So I know that this has been out there for a while now, but I want to discuss this because this is absolutely insane. In the good way, because we're living in a timeline where Nintendo is not allowed to just get away with everything, specifically on the patents anymore, it seems. We're hopefully going down the good ending, hopefully with the whole Palworld versus Pokemon Nintendo lawsuit thing, because a while ago, it was confirmed that the patent of throwing a ball in a 3D area to capture creatures or whatever was denied by Nintendo, because Nintendo tried to own that patent to combat Palworld on the whole, like, throwing the sphere to catch the pals, and Nintendo made that patent, and they made that patent conveniently, like, in a lot of their patents have been really scummy, where they're clearly made to have tactical advantage in lawsuits against any kind of competition, because they did that recently with Legend ZA on, like, real-time battling of commanding the Pokemon, which is also very scummy. But they tried to own the whole, like, capture mechanic thing in a 3D area, which is hilarious, because Palworld, even before Palworld, they had that mechanic in Craftopia, I believe is what the game was called, and that was even before Arceus was even being in development. So yeah, this is one of those situations where those kind of patents, regardless, they shouldn't have, because it's either one, too vague, or two, something that they really didn't create or whatever. And Nintendo has a lot of these, so they were denied this. And here's the real kicker on this one, that even I couldn't even believe what I was reading. It was denied in their hometown, in Japan. This wasn't in the US. This was in Japan. And it has been talked about where there would be a lot of, it's just money, just put in the side to allow Nintendo to get away with anything in Japan, because Nintendo obviously makes a lot of money for Japan. So it's crazy to me that they are like, no, we decline this patent. And I hope that means more of these would happen, because here's the other funny part. Because of that happening, and because of the whole uproar of Palworld versus Nintendo on Pokemon, this whole lawsuit, and it led to a lot of conversations from everywhere, where everybody's talking about this. It sparked such an uproar. It has now led to where now the US is going to do a thorough review of Nintendo's patents. Nintendo, I hope that you lose this if you don't back out on this lawsuit, because one, I hate patents. Patents ruin any kind of creativity, especially for upcoming game developers, like people that are indie devs, like they just are trying to make something. Like, you have all these big companies that want to control any competition, and we're to the point where it should be considered a monopoly when you have all these patents. Like, owning a mechanic for a game should not be a thing. I am a just super 100% believer on that specifically. When it comes to copyright of, like, characters and stuff, sure. And I've talked about with the Palworld situation, where if this was a copyright situation with some of the pals looking way too similar to Pokemon, and going down that rabbit hole, like, that would be something where I would be honestly curious about, and I wouldn't just pick sides. I would like to see where it goes on both sides on the conversation. But because Nintendo wanted to win, and they will do anything to ensure that, they went the scummy route with patents. Like, doing any kind of lawsuit with the game developers and stuff using patents is just a very low blow. It's just like it shouldn't be cheered on at all. And you see a lot of the Nintendo fanboys that are just like, Nintendo do wrong, everything Pokemon is perfect. And you shouldn't be cheering about patents, because imagine the opposite, where a big company owns certain things that you love. Like, let's use Pokemon Legends ZA. Imagine like any kind of game like that has a necromancer build where you're able to command the undead that you've revived to be in your army. Imagine they patent that mechanic, and then Pokemon was never able to make Pokemon Legends ZA the way it was. You see what I mean? Like, that's the logic behind it for anybody that has even like the smoothest of brains to think that that there is anything to defend patents on any company. It's not just Nintendo. Because there's others that, like the Nemesis system with Warner Brothers, like that stuff is just really scummy. With that being said, again, I am now very, very curious on where this will go. Obviously, the lawsuit is still happening, and there hasn't been any, grounds on like if they're going to settle or like what, but it's still going, and anything can happen. I mean, I just hope that this leads to Nintendo losing a ton of patents, and I also hope that maybe down the road patents just become not even a thing, or at least not a way to really use it to take out any competition. Like, but it's just very funny if Nintendo just played it civil and was like, hey, competition. Let's shake hands with Palworld, and they make it into a friendly rivalry. If Nintendo went that route instead of their insecure BS that they always do, then yeah, we would have been way better for Nintendo, where they wouldn't be in this situation. But here we are, and I'm happy that it's happening because, yeah, come on. Like, it just proves to everybody that Nintendo just can't have any competition. They don't care if it's a friendly competition or not. They don't want any of that. And and it's always a win-win. That's the main reason why I want competition with Nintendo, is because when there's competition with any game company, they actually will make good games. They'll make good content because they have competition. That's primarily why. Like, Pokemon games will conveniently get way better through the years if Palworld continues to grow, or if there's any other games that rivals Pokemon, and that leads to competition. Like, if Nintendo realizes, oh, we're not the top here on this whole like monster catching thing, like in battling, well, we probably should step up our game. And it's a win-win. Everybody wins with that. So, again, I'll be curious on where this goes. I know that Palworld is in the works of making a Palworld spin-off, which, good for them. I'm really excited about that. And not only that, but 1.0 is going to be happening next year, which I'm very, very excited about. I didn't even realize that they were going to be hitting that mark so soon. But yeah, here it comes. So I'm excited. But yeah, I just want to discuss that because I hate patents. I don't like the direction of Pokemon, where it just feels like you're just getting slop when you deserve way better, when this company makes billions of dollars and you have Pokemon just not innovate as much as it should be doing. Like, it's just, I just want the perfect Pokemon games. I want Palworld to grow. I want all of these things. I don't want all this garbage that's trying to hinder all that. So, anyways, let me know in the comments down below what you're thinking about all this. But regardless, thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a chibi-tastic day, night, evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next video. Chibi out.